The UK Time Out on Radio Biafra, bringing news beats from across the United Kingdom, incisive analysis by the People's Parliament. Our panel dissects the topic of the week, and listeners interact.
Also featuring great Biafran history, education, awareness, and enlightenment, plus entertainment galore.
Tune in to the UK Time Out on Radio Biafra, Sundays from 7:30 p.m. Biafran time and British Summer Time. Set out for a fabulous week ahead with the UK Time Out on Radio Biafra. News, views, previews and reviews. Join us.
Good evening from here. Good morning, good afternoon, good night, wherever you are listening from. Welcome to the UK Time Out on Radio Biafra. I'm your host, Ikechukwu Nice Mokoro Ichie Wachinemere, South Indigenous People of Biafra in the capacity of the United Kingdom National Coordinator. I hail from Onitsha, Amiri, Ezinite, Owerri Province, Biafra land. You're warmly welcome to today's episode of our great program, the UK Time Out on Radio Biafra. As usual, we will start with a prayer in the language of heaven. Eke kerowa, tabo bochike ayumu gabako inye kele puriche. Ita hanso gijagema isoporoge moro gisiala. Aina yogi mbara mehe uzola nesila mehe mera nyamara. Goziani nyanyi jinotu nyanyi organihu. Buchigida anyị ka ọkọ si buchigida ụmụ ya na-akwụ ya ebukwala ka aka ndị iru rute n'ebe anyị nọ. Anyị na-ewere oru gị nwoke Maazị Nnamdi Kanu nyefee na ọba aka gị ka ị na-edu ya na-echekwa ya ka isi wee na-echekwa ya na mbụ. Nakwa ayọ gị eze ka oge na-aga ete aka n'ime ọnwa a osi ebe ahụ ọ nọ wuru litiri nke ndị ọjọọ a na-akpọ DSS n'aka ndị zoo wee pụta. Anyị na-arapụ ụmụ gị niile ụmụ Biafra ndị nọ na Biafra land na ebe dị iche iche wee tie n'ọba aka gị, kachasị ndị nke na-echekwa obodo anyị, ndị nke akpọrọ ụmụ ESN. Anyị ga-ekele na nzukọ nke anyị gara n'abalị gara aga na London ịchụ nta ego iji nyere ndị ESN aka n'ọrụ ọma ha na-arụ ichekwa ala anyị na ichekwa ụmụ Biafra niile nọ n'ala anyị. Anyị na-arịọ gị nna ka imetụ aka n'obi ndị niile dị iche iche, ndị ụmụ Biafra, ndị oyi Biafra, ndị hụrụ Biafra n'anya, ndị ihe nwere onwe na eziokwu na-amasị ka ha wee soro anyị tinye nke ọbụla ha ji na ihe anyị na-eme ka o wee gaa n'udo wee isi. N'ikpeazụ ekwe ka ime ka anyị nweta Biafra anyị na-achụ ka ọnwa anyị wee zuo oke. Anyị ayọ gị n'aha nwa gị nwoke Yeshua HaMashiach. Ise 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 ise. Biafra kulie buso ndị iro anyị agha agha agha. Biafra kulie buso ndị na-akpagbu anyị agha agha agha. Maka gịnị? N'ihi na ha bụ ndị na-amaghị Chineke, ndị na-amaghị Chineke, kere ha kere ha kere ha. Coming up next, News Beats. Stay tuned.
Welcome to this week News Beat. I am Mazin Nosu with Wada Oge. Good evening. IPOB UK held her end of the year ESN fundraising in London last night. The well-attended hybrid event also had a visual attendance of IPOB members and guests from outside Southeast region and from overseas. In his welcome address, IPOB UK National Coordinator Chief Ikechukwu Nice Mokoro extolled the vision of our leader, Maazị Nnamdi Kanu, in consisting the ESN security network in December 2020. While extolling invaluable sacrifices and services of gallant ESN operatives in protecting our lands and preserving our lives. Chief Okoro thanked all who graced the occasion for their kind contribution while acknowledging those who have continued to support the ESN over time and encourage more donation as the ESN fundraising is a continuum. IPOB Head of Directorate Mazi Chika Edoziem and IPOB European Rep Mazi Osinabai both heaped praises on IPOB UK for her continued tenacity and dedication to the cause of funding not only to ESN but equally the global Biafra restoration movement, maintaining that Biafrans worldwide hold the IPOB UK family in high esteem. Mazi Edoziem enjoined all Ezigbo Umuchineke Biafrans and friends of Biafra to remain steadfast as IPOB march on with great resolve and determination to secure the release of Onyendu Mazi Nnamdi Kanu and ensure the peaceful restoration of Biafra via a United Nations sanctions and supervised referendum. Mazi Abaim added that ESN volunteers are under oath and strict guidance not to engage in any criminality or impunity, maintaining that IPOB and ESN have no hands in the evil being orchestrated in our land by armed criminals who are known to the government and mainstream politicians. The HDOX Mazi Chika Edoziem equally emphasized that IPOB have no faction as we remain one indivisible family.
Good evening, I am Wanda Oge. In her keynote speech live at the IPOB UK end-of-year ESN fundraising, the special guest of honor, Lolo Uchechi Okukano, the wife of our leader, Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, paid glowing tributes to the gallantry of the men and women of the ESN. She pointed out that if not for the interventions of the ESN, the marauding terrorists, the jihadists, would have overrun Biafra land, killing, maiming, and raping our people at will. Lolo Uchechi Okukano pleaded with all well-meaning people to support IPOB and ESN towards the self-preservation of our indigenous nationality and identity as a people. She reiterated her condemnation of attempts to unscrupulous elements to discredit the ESN and disparage the IPOB structure and the leadership, adding her voice to that of Mazi Chika Edoziem in describing the dubious claims by some faceless individuals that have formed a political wing of IPOB as a sham. Onyendu's wife, who is in regular touch with her illegal detained husband, clarified that there is no iota of truth in the fraudulent group's false claim that Mazi Nnamdi Kanu authorized them to form IPOB political wing in order to open negotiations with the Nigerian government on the future of Southeast. Neither do their motives in consonance with the recent hopes raised in freeing Mazi Nnamdi Kanu by the statements of Mrs. Bianca Ojukwu, the Minister of State and Foreign. Recall that the IPOB has made press statement categorically maintained that the infamous group's antics was a hoax, as IPOB maintains one family, which does not and will never have a political wing to meddle in Zeus thinking murky politics, noting also that any negotiations with the Zoo government, while Onyendu is still languishing in arbitrary incarceration.
Contribution to the IPOB UK end of the year ESN fundraising were unanimous in calling for Biafrans and Ndibo particular to embrace the ESN, just as the Yoruba in Southwest have their state-backed regional security outfit, Amatokun. Participants decried the Southeast government's hostility to ESN and roundly condemned the Southeast governors, especially Hope Uzodimma of Imo State and Chukwuma Soludo of Anambra State, for using a counter unit, Ebubago and ABG, respectively, to frustrate and truncate ESN good work, stressing that state officials plays politics with our internal security. Meanwhile, IPOB have cautioned the Southeast governors to stop defending the peaceful movement and self-defense regiment, the ESN. In a press release last Friday, IPOB cautioned the Zoo Army to stop their falsehood in which they claimed they had killed 4 ESN operatives in their camp at Omako, Isochi. in a phantom security operation codenamed Udoka. IPOB maintained that there is no ESN camp in that area, pointing out that the moderate Zoo army have been murdering innocent Biafrans youth, tagging them IPOB ESN. IPOB Media and Publicity Secretary Mapawa said it will be just a matter of time before all the exposures of insecurity in Biafra land will be exposed. Then people will understand all the crimes tagged on IPOB are committed by criminals sponsored by state officials. Last week, armed gunmen in police uniform kidnapped a man along Ugogo and Soka Road. Nigerian security personnel are known to be involved in kidnapping and other nefarious acts in the southeast. Still on insecurity, the Zoo Honorable Joseph Haruna Kibu was kidnapped on his way to Jos, Plateau State last Monday in an attack between Nukum in Awanka local government area of Nasarawa State and Gwantu in Sanga local government of Kaduna State. It was gathered that during a gun battle, the gunmen fatally shot the police escort assigned to Dr. Kibu, who he attempted to resist the abduction of his boss. Elsewhere in Ariwa, Northern Zoological Republic, Borno State Governor Babagana Zulum have declared that there are influential people who benefit from ongoing Boko Haram insurgency of his state and region, insisting such persons do not want criminality to end.
In another development, IPOB Middle East and ESN Commander General Mazi Chinasanworo has reminded Biafrans of the decision made to prioritize food security. Mazi Nworo referenced that the Yorubas are building central food security and storage systems in logistics hub at Ketu, Ereyun, Epe in Lagos. This hub will be the largest of its kind in sub-Saharan Africa, aimed at regulating food production, providing massive storage, ensuring food preservation, controlling food prices, and so much more. He continued by saying, "We told our people to start now to farm, produce what you will eat, build storage facilities for food preservation, and most of you think that IPOB leadership don't know what they are doing." Warning that the worst is coming. The IPOB Agriculture Fund, which supplied free high-quality organic seedlings to Biafran farmers, gave rise to increased yield in the outgoing harvest system, urging Biafrans to think, plan and go home to develop our place and engage in farming and building agro-allied facilities. Meanwhile, a Biafran of the Igbo extraction, Dr. Patrick Okoye, last month got the USA first patent in use of cassava starch as made in medicine after decade-long research. Okoye's
with evidence of nepotism and tribalism in the present APC government, many people now feel the Yoruba are utilizing the Tinubu presidency to advance their own Yoruba land in readiness for the eventual inevitable disintegration of the Zoo. Recall that the Yoruba Nation's separatist group, we submitted a letter to the Prime Minister office at number 10 Downing Street in October, reportedly sent another secession request to the UK Parliament last week. Just as popular Yoruba lawyer and democracy activist Dele Farotimi was summoned to police station and detained over alleged defamation of Afe Babalala and renowned banking top executive Tony Enumenu for involvement in judiciary corruption, such as judgment procurements. Mr. Farotimi has vowed to clear his name, saying he cannot be cowed by power-drunk politicians and their cronies. Tinubu regime is a fast gaining notoriety in picking opposition voices up and preferring Trump up charges against them. Something Dele Farotimi says he will fight back. IPOB has once again asked the Nigerian press and associated media practitioners to stop linking a certain content creator based in Finland from where he had been used by his politician makers to cause havoc through their killer squads. IPOB have no connection with the imposter and his violent gang, who ringleader one Ifeanyi Okerenta, as known as Gentile, who allegedly arrested last Tuesday when Zoo security agents raided Auto Criminal camp in Okigwe. IPOB insists these lawless elements, who have been well known to the zoo for over 2 years now, are not and will never be IPOB members.
A renewed call to President Tinubu to release IPOB worldwide leader Mazen Nnamdi Kanu on health grounds, especially as the risk to his health due to underlying cardiothoracic and other health conditions were made worse by the heavy torture and other inhuman treatment meted out to him during the 3.5 years extraordinary rendition and the arbitrary detention has been highlighted. The panelists on the program last Sunday, Dr. Justice Okachi Lois, the former IPOB UK National Coordinator and the current Head of Medical Corps, and Dr. Onyeka Ekekwe, the UK Deputy National Coordinator, who are both medical professionals, conclusively analyzed the increasing dangers of Onyendu's continued unlawful incarceration. And another panelist, Dr. Chibike John, based in the Philippines, argued that the detaining Nigerian authorities will answer the international community should anything untold happen to Onyendu while still in this DSS forced custody. While the program host, Chief Nice Mokoro, called on all seeking political resolution to anchor their appeals on medical situation of the Onyendu, the panel also enjoined all and sundry to sign the change.org free Mazen Nnamdi Kanu online petition launched by Onyendu's wife, Lolo Uchichukwu Kanu, saying we must reach the initial target of 10,000 signatures before Christmas. Let all hands be on deck to secure Onyendu Madike's freedom so he could spend Christmas with his young family and receive adequate care in medically suitable facilities here in UK. Elsewhere, the Association of Veterans of Igbo Descendants, AVID, a group of American ex-service military personnel of Igbo nationality, have written a powerfully worded 7 points open letter to President Tinubu demanding for the immediate release of Mazen Nnamdi Kanu, which was published online yesterday. That's the news beat this week. Many thanks for listening. Continue to enjoy the rest of the UK. And it is a great honor to actually appear with you and of course your comrades from the UK, and especially somebody that you mentioned, but I'm not sure that she has joined, is a role model of mine. Lola Sophia Carlo is a role model of mine, is a student of Biafra Nation, somebody who has studied us, who lives with us, who knows what we are thinking,
and I really want to do exactly what she's doing. I was born in Biafra, but I want to learn as much as I can about this wonderful place that we call Biafra. So to be here with you, and of course to meet Chief Ibe Ume on the radio, I thank you very much. And of course, my name is Dr. Tina. As everyone knows and hears my voice on Radio Biafra, Ebere Chukwu, and you know what I say. I always say that I'm that Ada Biafra, from the heart of Biafra land, and you know where that is. Olu province. Amuru, Amaduru, Alwamnuru. So, if you want to know about Uru, you can always call me. That's who I am. And there is a special thing that we do in Igbo land that is very close to my heart, and that is to belong to an association that we call Umuada. Umuada. There is Ada that I belong to, and we are very proud of ourselves in the United States of America, and those are the people who actually recharge my batteries when it's running low. They supply all the energy, they have pertinent questions about what's going on that I try to educate and talk about. So it's an absolute honor to join you today. Thank you for having me.
Thank you very much, Dr. Tina Ada Biafra. I'm on number, low number. And that is a special accolade in Biafra and in Igbo land. Thank you. You're most welcome. We are still waiting for Lolo Sophia to join us. As you rightly said, I'm very happy to hear from you that Lolo Sophia Chinre Kano is your role model in this movement of ours. There have been some last minute challenges that delayed her to join us, but I'm sure that she will join us at some point on this program. So let's go further down. We are back in the UK, so it would have been Lola Sophia to self-introduce herself to our listeners if they don't already know her. But let's move further down south to Brighton, the place where English people enjoy themselves most. Mazi Chief, please introduce yourself.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Ibeume, Mazi Ibeume Ichiezokubundo. I'm the Brighton coordinator, IPOB, and I'm from Ogun, in Enugu province of Biafra land. Once more, I say good evening to all listeners, Biafrans and lovers of freedom. I will say this evening, stay glued to your radio, as again we are gathered here to discuss those issues, especially the security issues in Biafra as they affect us, which we all know that it is our task, both individually and collectively, to take care of ourselves security-wise. No one is coming to do it for us. So I salute you, Maz Nice, the EBO UK National Coordinator, our sister, Dr. Tina, and Alozie, and Lolo, who is still on her way. I will say all you that you get glued onto your radio and give us your ears this evening. Thank you.
Thank you, Ezbo Chineke. I've just got a signal that maybe I need to recap the preamble because of some technical challenges at the beginning. I said earlier on, it's now 4 years, just in a few days from today, exactly, since Onyendu Mazen Nandekano, our leader, announced the formation of the Eastern Security Network, the ESN. At the time, Marudin Fulani jihadists and dangerous terrorists masquerading as salesmen were on rampaging, killing, maiming, raping of our indigenous people in Biafra land, especially Igbo land. Our communities, mainly rural ones, were in dread as farmers were hacked down in their farmlands. Valuable crops were destroyed in their ridges, infantry in the best, by cows of this murderous squad, leaving in their wake destruction, desolation, and desperation. People could not reap the fruits of their hard labor. Harvests were lean, if not completely empty, for many, and those farming for commercial purposes were left in the ruins of huge losses and even debt. No doubt the establishment of the ESN was a timely intervention, restoring hope for our people by ultimately offering needed protection and self-preservation. The Insecurity network remains our last line of defense against wicked attackers and enemies. The sacrifice of services rendered by the ESN volunteers, who, by the way, are not on any salaries, have often been underappreciated, even maligned by our wicked government officials and their agents, with propaganda and agenda of extermination. But the truth remains that without the ESN, our enemies would have overrun us and taken our ancestral lands. This particular view, in quotes, was expressed in April 2022 by the wife of our eternal leader, Jim Chukwemeka Odimogwu Chukwu Ikemba himself, the People's General, in the person of Chief Mrs. Bianca Odonaka Odimogwu Chukwu, at a summit that I was a co-special or guest speaker with her. She re-echoed this particular quote that I just made reference to. And it is the truth. Without the ESN, without IPOB, in the last 4 years, we would have been overrun. So the real question why we're here tonight is, how can we support this ESN against all odds? We remain resolute, stay strong, firm focus on the need for self-preservation and restoration of our homeland of Biafra. Dr. Sina, let me start with you. What is your take on the vision and decision to form the ESN? Surely that must be divine intervention or inspiration. What do you think?
Thank you very much for this question. Yes, it was divine. It was a saving grace. The establishment of the Eastern Security Network is the best thing that has happened to Biafra today, as of today. The vision is a saving vision. It has saved us. If it wasn't for IPOB and the establishment of the Eastern Security Network, if it wasn't for that, if it wasn't for the actions of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, where would we have been today? Just sit back as a Biafran, as somebody who is interested in the welfare and well-being of our people. Sit back and think, if there was no Eastern Security Network in Biafra land today, what could have been happening in our villages, in our towns, especially in our farmlands? So we thank IPOB worldwide. We thank Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, the prophet who saw tomorrow and who continues to see tomorrow. We thank the Directorate of State of the Indigenous People of Biafra who stand gidigwam behind this initiative, the Eastern Security Network, because anytime you're privileged to listen to them or think about what they're doing, their focus continues to remain the support of the Eastern Security Network. Every time you hear anyone in the Directorate of State of the Indigenous People of Biafra speak, if it is Mazi Chike Doziem, listen carefully. He is talking about the support and the things that we can do with the Eastern Security Network to make sure that our people are safe in their homes and in their farmlands, in their forests, in our bushes. So there is nothing that has happened to us as Biafrans that compares to the kind of impact that the Eastern Security, the establishment of the Eastern Security Network has done or has had in Biafra land. Biafra land, if you're a Biafran, just thinking about Biafra land gives you joy. It does. It gives me joy to think of the palm trees, to think of the people, just even the voices of the people, the noise in the market gives me joy. Can you imagine not having that? Even from far as America, where we live, where I live, as far as here, just thinking of the palm trees, walking the narrow paths into the farmland gives me a sense of serenity, a sense of calmness. Hearing the voices, the boisterous voices in our markets gives me joy. And if you have gone home lately, as I did this year, you will know that those things are still there. And there's nothing that will give you the sense of confidence to want to go back, to be there with your people in that land that when you step on it, it just gives you chill. It gives me chill from my toes all the way up to my head. I just feel like, okay, I'm home when I'm there. If the Eastern Security Network was not there, has not been there for 4 years now, I will not have that sense. I will not have that joy that I feel when I think of the land of Biafra, the land and the people of Biafra. So if you gain joy, if you derive some sense of security, some sense of belonging when you think of the land of Biafra, the people of Biafra, how we are at home, you must thank God that someone like Mazi Nnamdi Kanu grew up in that land and had the vision that he had to call the people together to form this movement that we know as IPOB, to begin the restoration of Biafra, to push forward the restoration of Biafra by the establishment of the Eastern Security Network. They are the only things that give us joy. Thank you very much, Mr. Chief Nice.
Thank you, Ojada. I feel exactly the same way you do. Mazibe, how do you feel?
Well, Chief Nice, let me start by thanking IPOB United Kingdom for the fundraising we had yesterday. It was all for the same cause. You know, IPOB is a child of necessity. ESN is a child of necessity. We all still remember, was it about 4 years ago when Mazi Nnamdi Kanu went to the US and was telling our people in a town hall meeting that they are coming. They are coming. You know, it was for me, it was like when Jonah, Noah was telling them that there is a flood, that something was going to happen. And people around him were mocking him, laughing, the biblical Noah's Ark. You know, and that was the same way people in that hall where Mazen Mamdekan was, you know, some of them were mocking him, some people were saying, oh, what travel document did you come into? As far as I'm concerned, one man was saying, as far as I know, that Biafra is still, that Kano was still in Nigeria, was still traveling with Nigeria's travel document and all that. But here we are today, seeing how it is going. And I can tell you that nearly every Nigeria has a population of 200 or something million, like they say, people. And nearly every Nigerian who is conscious of what's happening in the environment today is praising Mazen Mamdekan one way or the other for his vision, for what he saw, which many people did not see, you know. And one thing we must know is that what's happening around Nigeria today, is a well-orchestrated act by both the Nigerian government, the Nigerian armed forces, and the foreign owners of Nigeria. We remember when Theophilus Danjuma, that famous quote of Theophilus Danjuma, he said that the armed forces are not neutral. They collude with the bandits that kill people, kill Nigerians. They facilitate their movements. They cover them. If you are depending on the armed forces to stop the killings, you will all die one by one. End of quote. So, what method do these guys use? Originally, what they normally do is that they occupy bushes. If you allow them, they occupy your bushes, and from your bushes, they attack farmers in the bushes, as well as come into towns to attack people. And as soon as if they take away your farmlands by attacking your farmers, preventing farmers from going into cultivate foods, that will be the foods. That will be it. That will be the end of it. And the Mazen Mamdekan came up with this idea of forming the ESN. So what do our men, the ESN volunteers, like we say, because some people erroneously say that the ESN are armed wing and armies and all that. No. The ESN are just volunteers, vigilantes. Alright, vigilantes. Vigilantes work in the same way as whatever they deem, whatever manner they deem to be the danger coming their way. If they see that the dangers coming their way has only sticks, they too would have only sticks. If the dangers coming their ways have rocks only, they too would have only rocks. So as it stands today, what we can get our hands on are to the level of what we see the Fulani headsmen, the terrorists, with what they occupy the forest with. That's what we have as it stands today and doing the vigilante work. Alright? And the main duty is to ensure that these Fulani terrorists do not occupy our bushes. Because if we allow them to occupy our bushes, that will be it. Every other thing we are saying here today, that it won't make any meaning. So they prevent them from occupying our bushes. Alright? And if we cast our minds back to, was it 2021, during the COVID period, when these guys were imported from all over Africa, you know, some videos, we saw some videos, some of them were offloaded in Abia State, it was all around Biafra land, and as soon as they were offloaded, they ran into the bushes without arms in those days. So they ran into the bushes and were expecting the arms. But our men were making sure that those arms never even got to them. They flushed them out as soon as they see them. I had a brother the other time that said, I think it had been about 3-4 years that he went to Biafra land last. And about 2 weeks ago, he was saying that in some cities, you know, the normal way that these guys, they use their cows, their cows walk on the streets. that he traveled most of the cities in Biafra land. He didn't see those cows. And remember, those cows are more of decoys. We didn't know all these years that those cows are more of decoys with which they take cover, hide anywhere they want to hide, to unleash mayhem. So, as it stands today, for sure that our men, the ESN, the volunteers, members of ESN, they are doing a great job. As we know today, they are doing a great job in such a way that you can travel to Biafra, apart from the rented the men that the Nigerian government is sponsoring to bring down what you are doing. Those ones, of course, they've been tucked in their own way. Apart from that, those ones that are coming to stop what you are doing, apart from them, our gallant men are doing a great job in making sure that our land is safe for all Biafrans. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Chair. Thank you for that excellent description and representation of your impression. Dr. Tina, what is your overall assessment of the current, or should I say, security situation in our homeland in the last 4 years since the ESN was formed?
We can say, Chief Nice, that we used to hear all the time this farmland was attacked, people were butchered. We saw many videos of people being attacked in the farms, women and men raped and killed, and we would even see them challenging our people in their farms and telling them that they have no right to stop their cows. We saw so many of those videos. It was infuriating. It was just total madness. Because we, as far as removed as we are, we cannot go down there to do anything. But it was so infuriating that every time I saw those videos, I would just quickly delete them. But today, because of the establishment of Eastern Security Network, we don't see as many of those videos anymore. What we now have is periodically the gallant men and women in the bushes of Biafra land protecting our people will show a video of them flushing out maybe some newcomers or people who are trying to establish or re-establish in our bushes. That is what we see now. So from this vantage point of being far removed from Biafra land and what I see in the social media, I can tell you that the Eastern Security Network have been perfectly doing their jobs. They have taken their business very seriously and they are controlling what they are doing. And what is the reason for the establishment? Just like Chief Ume said, they established to keep the terrorists out of our bushes. Don't get it mixed up. They are vigilantes. They are not armed wing, they are not soldiers, they are not anything but people who have been assigned and who have taken it upon themselves to protect the forests, the farmland, the bushes of Biafra land. That's where they are. They are making sure that our people, because we're supporting them in a big way and encouraging them every day to go back to the farms, that they have now gone back. And the products of the farming that they did is coming out. That is why the Eastern Security Network was. They have never lost ground. I want to make sure that everyone listening to us knows that the Eastern Security Network has never lost ground since their formation. They have constantly made progress. You remember, the places, especially in Ebonyi and Enugu and all the northern part of Biafra land, they used to attack them rampantly. We hear such skirmishes once in a while now. But remember that you have the right to call that security line to make sure that somebody knows that they're troubling you in this area and that area. And I commend highly the actions of Enugu people whenever they attack them or whenever they come in now trying to regain ground in Enugu people, especially their women, come out and protest and tell their governors and those people representing them that these people are coming back and that you know about it. So the Eastern Security Network has not only protected us in the bushes, they have given us the courage and the confidence to speak loudly and to know that this atrocity that they brought into our bushes and into our farmlands, it is not going to continue. And now our people know to push back. So it is subsiding. It is going away. That there is a time. It will be a story very soon that there was a time where herdsmen Fulani terrorists who masqueraded themselves as herdsmen will come to our bushes and our farmlands and kill our people. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Dr. Tina. I am very much in line with you, and probably as part of the preamble would have been the recognition of the fact that last year, December, Christmas, New Year celebrations, we had a lot of testimonies, and I must say, testimonies is not only for people who go to church. The true testimonies are those from the people in their homes. That last year we had peaceful, very serene Christmas, New Year celebration with little or no incidents whatsoever recorded. And I said to my people, to Chukwu Kadama alone be all the glory, because we ascribe that to him. But make no mistake, this is not a happenstance. It's because some people have been putting in the graft, the hard work to make it happen. And the way it happened was because the IPOB leadership direct the operations of the Eastern Security Network, invested in it, and made sure that our gallant men and women on the ground did their job effectively. And that's exactly what we want to ensure that happens this year. Hence, the fundraising and all the efforts being made to ensure that the ESN is adequately provided for to do their job again. So I totally agree with you, Dr. Tina is subsiding, or should I say subsided, since 3 years ago in particular. But we wouldn't take that for granted, because we know the enemies we fight for, they are poignantly, as I said here last night in our program, patient and persistent. When you look at the Hausa or the Fulani man you see on the street with their rubber slippers or whatever, flip or they've got on, and their transistor radio, and we always take them for granted and take them to this coin to say, oh, Abuki, and laugh at them. But hey, they are very intelligent. These people are intelligence agents, I'll call them. People that the CIA, the FBI can use very well for intelligence. They know what they are doing. They are very patient. They are not in a rush. They are not in a hurry. If you think you have defeated them from one angle, they come from another angle. So we have recorded great success, I agree, but we must keep our eyes on the ball to continue. If the gains we have so far attained will be sustained until Biafra is restored. Chief Ibe, let me come back to you. Right now, as we know, the size of the task facing or confronting the ESN is quite large, as I've enumerated already. And our people, Biafrans, specifically, are traditionally known to be Republicans. That's the word we use for ourselves. We organize our internal security effectively. In the back days, we know of every community, almost every community had Ninche or whatever name they are locally known as, that ensure internal security. What exactly makes the ESN unique or special?
Thank you, Mazenas, once more. You see, there's something special about Biafrans. You know, we Biafrans are people that never, apart from what the British government finally and eventually did to us, which as it stands today, they themselves know that we are done, that we are not finished. So, one thing special, very, very special about both the ESN and the way we Biafrans provide security and they remain proactive at all times is that this dates back. This is a historical thing. It didn't start today. If you remember the Ekumeku warriors, it took off from just what was called then Utu Ikolobia. You know, there are small groups, social groups we form in the villages for those of us who grew up in the village. That was how it all started. But when the British government wanted them to use men as beasts of burden, you know, they took their subjugations up to make it, wanting to make men use men as beasts of burden. That was where the Otu Ikolobia then transformed into Ekumeku. And if you remember, this Ekumeku gave inspiration to Aro Confederacy. It gave inspiration to the Ijebu resistance. It gave inspiration to the Mau Mau of Kenya. Alright, so what we are doing today is something that we know. If ESN is properly funded the way it should be, it would be an example, an epitome, something that the world, the entire world, because the way we Biafrans do our things, always, we do it in such a way that people would want to copy from us. So in everything we do, people would want to copy from us. So the ESN is a security outfit, a vigilante outfit that, if well funded properly, giving the sort of support they need, that it will be a sort of inspiration globally. That I know for sure. You know, because all along, if you look around, how did all this, when the OND was telling the Igbo governors to create that Nanda and Adopa, they are coming. Like I said in my opening statement, they are coming. You know, they took him off for granted. Then, you can remember that it was only in this insistence, it was through his insistence that the Western governors formed Amoteku. We know that for sure. Like Lelo Chimezie said on radio that they never give us the credit for anything. They copy from us, but they never give us the credit. You know, they never say that, oh, this guy inspired us. But we know that we don't want them, even if they like, let them give us the credit that they copied from us. If they don't like, let them keep it to themselves. But we know that the formation of Amoteku was an inspiration from ESN, the ESN. And we know that more and more ethnic nationalities in Nigeria, when they wake up, when they decide to wake up, they are still going to copy from the ESN and from a security outfit that they would use to reverse whatever challenges that comes from either the Fulani terrorists called the herdsmen or the global network of terror which gradually are pouring into Nigeria and Biafra land as well. Thank you. Marcellus, are you there?
Well, before he comes in, maybe I should add to what you just said about the local vigilantes and the things that we usually, or how we usually organize ourselves in our villages and in our communities. And I must tell Biafrans that that is still effective. Please continue to do that. We look out for one another. There are always Umukorobia, like you said, in each village who kind of watches out what is going on and making sure that our older men and women are protected, that the young people can go about being free in the village. People always look out, especially at night. We have vigilante groups who watch the community while the rest sleep, and they take turns to come out to our villages. We want to encourage you to continue doing that in Biafra land. We've always done that. Because the Eastern Security Network, ESN, that's not their job. Their job is not to watch the village and protect the less able-bodied people. Their specific mandate is to make sure that those people who come to kill us in our farmlands, in our bushes, and in our forests, they do not build those shacks that they build in those places and live there and establish themselves as a base from where they come to attack our villages and take over our land. So the vigilantes are very much still appreciated and must be encouraged, while the ESN does their specific job. Their charge is one. Charge of the Eastern Security Network is just one. Very effective. Don't be infiltrated, because they are looking for a place to perch now. They have been flushed out of IPOB, and I think the world knows that there is a difference between them and us. Don't let the criminals come into our vigilante groups in our villages. Ndewo, Maazi, Chief Nice, I think you're back.
Yes, I'm so sorry. We are having a wonderful weather in the United Kingdom, and my area, the Midlands in particular, is awful. I was actually speaking to you and to ask a particular question. I didn't realize that I was already off air at the time. But nevertheless, my question is, given the historical perspective that Chief Ume highlighted, which we know as Biafrans, before the advent of the wicked white man that came in to truncate our ways of life, Biafrans, indeed in particular, were known to have internal security network that is efficient, if not better or greater than the CIA, the FBI, in terms of intelligence. Right now, I particularly see ESN as a reincarnation of that internal security network.
Chief Nice is not coming through again, is that correct?
I can't hear you.
Correct. Chief Nice, if you're hearing us, you need to do something to your device to come through.
It's very windy in the UK at the moment. Very windy.
That's exactly what he was telling us. But yeah. I think maybe maybe we can continue by talking about next point, which that next point is, so why we should make sure to support the Eastern Security Network. I think that's the next point.
Yeah.
Look at my notes.
Yeah. And one thing about the security challenges in the whole of Nigeria and the Biafra land in particular is a coordinated attack. A huge coordinated attack funded internationally. I believe some of us remember in 2022, May 2022, I think 1st or 2nd of May 2022, when the UN chief, he stayed the UN chief now, he visited Nigeria, and
yes, Antonio Gutierrez.
Yeah, Antonio Gutierrez.
Yes.
Handshake with the then president, and cheered him up for incorporating terrorists into the Nigerian security arms. And I think I have a quote from his long speech. He said the best thing we can do for peace is to reintegrate those who, in the moment of despair, became terrorists but now want to contribute to the well-being of their brothers and sisters. End of quote. Now the question is, Antonio Gutierrez, he's from Portugal, yeah? So
yes, he is.
Portugal. So Antonio Gutierrez, if I take it that you guys have terrorism in Portugal, or insurgency, or whatever you may call it in Portugal, and these people come out and say, oh, we are laying down our arms, and you, Gutierrez, advise the president of Portugal to take them back into the Portuguese, to get them incorporated into the Portuguese army. That is a capital no. And you see, one thing with Nigeria is that anything that happens nowhere else in the world happens in Nigeria. Anything that is not obtainable anywhere else in the world, come to Nigeria, you get it. It's like the organ harvesting, which Dr. Philip Nzemanza told us that there's nowhere in the world that you can take people's organ without consent, except in Nigeria. Alright? So, coming back to what our discussion, you see, the point we are trying to make is that security is everybody's business. It's not only uniform men's business. And as we know it today, it is actually those who were incorporated into the Nigerian security system. There are the people who are now on the streets of Biafra land, at checkpoints and all that. You see how the videos that emanate now, because they cannot act from the bush outwards. So they are now on the streets. You see the videos emanating from Biafra land, how they beat people on the streets, tell people to come down on checkpoints and walk like 200 to 500 meters sometimes on the rain, under the rain, under heavy sunshine, whatever weather it is. Some of them are even told to do a front jump for 200 to 300 meters. So these are these people. Some of them are the people who, using the anger of being prevented from having their abode in our bushes, are now on checkpoint and dealing with our people. So security is everybody's business. Alright? Whether you are in the IPOB or not, that you are a Biafran or a lover of freedom or a lover of Biafrans, please, in whatever way you can help us support the ESN, spread this message to whatever forum you can spread it to. Spread this message that there are people who are under existential threat. Biafrans are under existential threat. And we need as much support, as much of them as we can garner to put towards ourselves, whatever way it is, be it government support, foreign government support, or individual support, come to our aid, because we Biafrans are under existential threat. This threat is organized by both foreign governments as well as the Nigerian government. The Nigerian government is you heard the other time that you read the other time where the CIA said that the current president of Nigeria is their assets. Is their tool, the tool with which they are working. You heard that? I know you said that somewhere, Dr. Tina.
Yeah, that is correct. And Maz, there's something that you say that I must piggyback from when you say that the best, what Gutierrez advised them is that the best thing to help the marginalized and the people who don't have whatever is to reintegrate them into their military and their police force and all that. And that's what Buhari did exactly. But do you know how Buhari further even relieved themselves more is by pushing those people down to the south, and especially to the southeast. So they took their Boko Haram, the people that have been harassing their villages in the north, and they integrated them into the police and the army and the navy, the military forces. And then they put those people down to us. So now their criminals have become our criminals, marginalizing and just harassing our people on our roadways. Since the Eastern Security Network is in the bushes chasing them out, what they do now is, now that they can become army, they become army and they send to the south, they can stand on the street and do exactly what they wanted to do from the bushes anyway. Because I told Great Biafrans, and I think I made that statement on the radio as well, that when I traveled to Biafra land, you will see, especially not around Imo State or Anambra State or Delta State where I was mostly, but when you traveled into River State, you will see these Fulani herdsmen. Now, the terrorists, they are now herding their cows around the military checkpoints. Oh. That's where we saw them the most. Like you will be traveling, if you travel from Iguacha to where, for instance, and there are hundreds of checkpoints on that road, that he wants you to make is, do you think there has been sufficient buy-in by Biafran communities into the operations of the Eastern Security Network? Can you talk about that while he's trying to connect?
Yes, thank you very much, Dr. Tina. I don't know, the weather in my region is horrible.
Yes.
So I don't know whether it's from me or maybe it's from Radio Biafra, and I'm also receiving some messages flooding in, particularly from people, our family members here in the UK. They are struggling with the connectivity tonight. It's so unfortunate, but I'm glad that I'm back, and thank you so much, Dr. Tina, for grasping it and presenting it the right way. We must continue. Thank you.
Thank you very much. So, Mazume, if you continue with that line of thinking, if our people are having buy-in into ESN.
Well, thank you very much. One thing we must know is that you see, when the DOS unfolded the agricultural project, they knew obviously that the ground was safe, the bushes were safe to go in and farm. And then we saw videos, even if for those of us who visit Biafra land from time to time, you see that people feel free to go into the farms, into the bushes to do their businesses. Alright? Now, some of them may not know who is making it safe for them. Some of them know. But one thing that somehow came into denting the name of the ESN was these criminals, this Iberima boys, you know, because I bumped into a space the other time where someone was saying, I know the woman. She was saying that, she was making a statement and saying that when the ESN march on the street, I said, look at this person. Which ESN marches on the street? The ESN are not seen on the street. So that's why it even makes it difficult. Unless you are somehow, because these guys work like commandos. Alright? They could be in your farmland or around your farmland and you may not know. So even if you see them, they're not asking you to come and praise them, because these guys are very, very disciplined security outfit. All right. So where their focus is on their duties. You know, so they are not even asking for accolades or something, because they are volunteers. You know, so one thing I know for sure is that our people go into their farms today and do their businesses and come out without any harm. So it is now left for us to continue in our evangelism for those of them who have not heard or known, who is making it possible for them to go into their farms and do their businesses, come out unhurt. So it's our duty to keep on carrying out the evangelism, as well as calling for more support for ESN. So I know that a lot of them, the bulk of them, know that it is safe for them. Like if you go to, I think in Kano West, I saw some people the other time showcasing their cucumber, tomatoes and all that. I mean, these people, without the ESN, these people couldn't have gone into that bush, we couldn't have been seeing things like that. You know, these people couldn't have been able to go to their farms. All right. So, like I said, it is left for us to, because it's just like this is sometimes looks like a situation whereby someone is being saved, but they do not know who is saving them. I know it happens most of it sometimes in our lives. So these people, someone is making sure that they are safe in their farms, but they may not know. Some of them know, some of them do not know. So like I said, it is left for us to keep spreading this message, telling people more and more about the ESN, and that we are not the criminals who are trying to dent our names, the Iberima boys who are trying to dent our names, though their days have come to a halt now and the end. So like Professor Innocent Odenibo would say that they are now in the dustbin of history. So Iberima and his boys are now in the dustbin of history. So it is now left for us to keep spreading the message that you are going to your farms to do your business, come out unhurt. That is the ESN set up by our great leader Mazen Nnamdi Kanu, that they are making it, they are the ones making it possible for you. Thank you.
Thank you. Mazen, can I add a word before you continue to that point? He just made my face, he put a smile on my face by saying that they have now gone to the dustbin of history. Thank you for making that, saying that expression. That expression just made me smile. Dustbin of history, that's where they are right now. And I want to tell you that that is the work of the great IPOB. You are doing beautifully. Great IPOB worldwide. And we want to announce to the world, we want to say with joy that we love our Eastern Security Network because of the love that they have shown to our people, because of their confidence in going out there, and their tenacity, the work that they do is, we don't even, like you said in your, I think your address to the people at the fundraising yesterday, we have nothing. A token of thanks, really appreciation from us will be moral support, maybe, and then maybe financial support, but they have done so much for us. So we thank them, and we want to speak to our people about them, so that everybody knows, instead of you knowing that, oh yeah, it's safe to go to the farm now, but you don't know why you're safe to go to the farm. We want every Dick and Harry in Biafra land to know that it is safe to go to the farm and do your work and bring your harvest home because of the Eastern Security Network set up by Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, the Directorate of State, and the IPOB worldwide. That's the only reason.
Thank you so much, Dr. Tina. Thank you. And I will come back to you, to the main issue. How can our local people, especially, because they are the ones that we need to understand better and also support more the Eastern Security Network, how can they support the ESN better? And why you take that question on, why do Southeast government, I don't want to say governors, but the whole government, oppose and even blackmail the ESN?
That's a simple answer. When Mazi Nnamdi Kanu and Chief Wume said it, when Mazi Nnamdi Kanu and people who knew what was coming asked them, hey, put some security measures in place so that our people can feel safer moving around and so that our people don't get killed in their farmlands. They ignored us like, no. Just like those people in California did to Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. They were just thinking that, oh, you're just saying, what passport? They were making caricature of what he was doing and what he was trying to do. So when these Eastern politicians were told, they were like, no, this is not coming. They buried their heads in the sand like ostriches. And then when Mazi Nnamdi Kanu and IPOB established ESN, they became jealous immediately. It's like, who are you? You can't come here and tell us that this is going to happen and that you're going to have some kind of measure of control. So they quickly did what? They sabotaged by forming a bag. These people are evil. I am telling you. I know that, sometimes we do use strong words for them simply because we think what they're doing is really detrimental to our existence. They're not only helping the Fulani oligarchy in Nigeria, they're helping the colonizers who are actually exacerbating the whole issue by just using us to make sure that they extract resources from our land. So when we see such people who are trying to make sure that your people no longer come home, no longer have a homeland, and other people have overrun us, we use the strongest words that we can. They're evil to us. These politicians who don't understand the threat to our lives. There's no other word to call them but evil. So let me tell the politicians of the Eastern region, the Southeast region extraction, if you oppose ESN even today, you have no good thing in your heart for our people, because we swear by the Eastern Security Network now. If it's not for them, we would have run away from our villages, from our towns. So if you touch them now, you're touching us in a very bad place. And I hope that our people can rise up at the right time and really tell these people to their faces that we believe in the Eastern Security Network and we don't believe in you. Ibubago is just one of the criminal elements that they have introduced in our land now. What do? They harvest organs for their masters, they kill, they maim, they threaten, they harass, and they kidnap. Is that security for the people? No, it's not. So what they're really doing is just joining the people, the foreigners, occupying our land to further suppress us. And that we cannot stand still for. So we cannot continue to tolerate those politicians. Thank you very much.
Surely, we cannot. Actually, I was talking to one of our communities. In fact, my work never stopped. After leaving London event, obviously today, I have been in a community, Igbo community, Biafran community, here talking about what is going on. People asking different sort of questions, security-wise, ESN, and of course the agent provocateur we know, and his or their sponsors. I was being very, not emotional, but being very open and frank. That's my natural flow to the people to say, as these events unfold, anybody with half intelligence or half a working brain will be able to answer most questions by themselves and not even ask questions more. Part of which includes, now you must know where the criminal in Finland emanated from. Now you must know how these people were so angered by the fact that they believed that Nnamdi Kanu was killed on the 14th of September 2017 during the evil Operation Python dance. How they also thought it was impossible that he escaped, and when he resurfaced, or they came to know about his whereabouts, the Holy Land, they were shocked. And how, when he started or resumed broadcasting with more fury and fire in 2019, he now launched a multi-billion US dollar contract of his kidnapping. So all these things culminated in what we are seeing today. And that is the mother of insecurity. Using diverse agents, officials, people that call themselves all sorts of names, including governors. So, Mazi Igbo, I'm coming to you, Chief. You first mentioned about this embargo. And I know how embargo came into being after the success ESN recorded. We know about jealousy, pettiness, petulance. The truth is, did we really need an embargo? I'll put that as a question to you. And why couldn't the Eastern political leaders emulate their Western counterparts, the Yorubas, in what they did? We saw how Amoteku was formed by the Western Socio-Cultural Organization, embraced and fully funded and supported by their own political leaders. Why couldn't that happen in the Eastern region?
Mazi, thank you once more. You see, I think I stumbled on a paper delivered by Professor Donatus Ibewaka in a Ahajoko lecture, 1976. So he said somewhere there that Biafrans, especially Igbo Biafrans, are the best human beings anywhere in the world. We never take anything that doesn't belong to us. Envy and jealousy is not in us. The only way you see something like that is in the desire to rise, better ourselves. That's all. But finding ourselves in Nigeria was what destroyed the Igbo man. Alright? Now, bringing it down to the government of the Eastern Nigeria, Biafra land. You see, what ate these guys up was envy, jealousy. What we would say, some days ago, I must always be the one standing. If anyone else stands, I have to bring them down. So they were so much surprised because within them, they were never going to set up any security. And don't forget that security is a reflex reaction. You know, it's an involuntary action, security. So if someone comes to attack you today, is coming into your house to attack you, you don't need any law to defend yourself. You don't need to go and get your law book or start to put the law of the country where you reside before you begin to get ready to defend yourself. It is natural that you defend yourself, because I heard some people say, that Kano set up a ESN, which Parliament backed it up and all that. No, we were not going to wait for anybody to come and defend us, especially when we know that these guys are working for the Nigerian government. They are not working for...
And the Yorubas, the Westerners, the Amatekus, you don't wait for anybody.
Of course.
They set it up first, all their houses of assemblies, now gave it a legal status, and the governors backed it, which never happened in our place.
Of course, and you know that Akeredolu paid with his life, because you know when Fulanis came hard on them, you must disband this. He stood up beside theirs legally, and he paid with his life. You know? So, these guys were angry, very, very angry, that Mazi Nnamdi Kanu set up the ESN. And not knowing what to do, they then went ahead to create a Bubago. What was a Bubago for? To come against the ESN. As well as, they even went as far as, you know, the men, the repented Boko Haram and all of them that were pushed down to our land, these are some of the people in the uniforms of this Bubago. Because you run into them, but some of them don't even speak any language within the Biafra nation. You know? So these guys were deployed to clamp down on ESN as well as anyone in the garb of IPOB. So these guys, for me, I don't know, I wouldn't say that they are enemies. This government, Eastern Nigeria, especially Biafra land government, I wouldn't say that they are enemies, but these guys, they don't watch our backs at all. In any way from shape. These guys do not watch our backs. What they are there doing is, you know, whatever can get into my pocket, I will take it for whatever consequences it happens to be within our land. So these guys are very angry that we are even defending ourselves. You know, not checking and watching over our backs and shoulders to protect us. So they are very angry. But what we know is that if you check that from the intelligence, little intelligence we get from those within their circles, tell us what ESN is doing. I must assure you, Ebu Chief and our sister, these guys love what ESN is doing, but because they don't have two balls between their legs, but you can never hear them come out and say it. You know, they love what ESN is doing. They know that ESN is keeping our land, our forest that would have been occupied and then attacked launched from this forest. That these forests have been flushed. You can see people from Benin axis from time to time. UN come and help us. USA come and help us. Fulani herdsmen are eradicating us. They are disturbing us. These are the things that we would have been hearing in Biafra land day in, day out. But the ESN stopped it, and the jealousy from the Biafra land governors, especially the upland governors, you know, theirs is that we must bring them down. Of course, there's no need coming to tell them, which I must say anyway, is all over the internet, where Dave Loma is saying that if IPOB, and the way I would analyze it is that if IPOB doesn't come to table and party with them, that they were going to create a parallel security IPOB, you know, which he ended up doing, which they ended up in the dustbin of history in the words of the late Professor Innocent Odembo. So,
thank you, Mazi. Thank you.
Yeah.
Of course, we are very much aware, and we must expose things here on this hallowed platform.
Nice is off again.
Yeah, I think Nice is off again.
Okay, so do you want me to raise the next point?
Yes, Dr. Tina, I was going to come to you. Chief Pune has already pointed out why it appears to be difficult for or rather the reasons why our own government
Yeah, I think he's gone off again.
Yes. One of the points that I know that we should talk about, not only sufficient buy-in from Biafrans in Biafra land, is also how Biafra